I, 28F, have known my friend, 29M, since middle school. We were neighbors and went to the same schools, and we've always been super close. Until very recently, there were absolutely no romantic feelings or attraction between us. He's always just been my friend. A few months ago, we had a falling out. He was dating this crazy girl who was treating him like crap. She was super controlling over him. We pretty much never saw each other after they started dating. He called me one night to complain about her not giving him any space, and I told him exactly what I thought about her. I did not like her. She was rude, and he could definitely have been doing better. When I told him all of that, he blew up at me. He said I was meddling in his relationship and that I didn't know her. He called me some pretty harsh words and told me I was jealous. I had no feelings for him at the time other than seeing him as my best friend. I wasn't jealous. I just missed my friend and thought he should be treated better. After that call, we didn't talk much at all for months until 2 weeks ago. He stopped hanging around our friend group when I was there, and he didn't return my messages. Well, they broke up, and while he didn't message me right away, he eventually started sending me stuff on Insta. Just memes and reels, nothing much, and we didn't talk about his breakup. That is, until last week, when he called me and apologized for just falling off with me. He told me I was right about her controlling him, and he said that she didn't want him talking to me because she thought I wanted him. We made up, and I met him at his place to hang out for the first time in months. When we were hanging out, we were getting really physically close in a way that we had never done before, and we ended up hooking up. I never thought that would happen with him. I think maybe not seeing him for a while made me miss him to the point that new feelings developed. Like an hour after, he told me that we shouldn't have hooked up, that I was like a sister to him, and that he wasn't attracted to me at all. We got into an argument, and I ended up leaving without staying the night. Now we're back to not really talking at all. He'll send a funny thing he saw on Insta every other day, but he won't discuss anything with me at all. I don't know what to do. He's been my best friend forever, and now we've had 2 back-to-back fallings out. I don't know how I feel about him, but I don't want to lose him from my life. Do I just give this time? Do I call him and insist that we talk about what happened? This is really tearing me apart. Commenter. So you immediately slept with him the first chance you met in person after they broke up? So the ex-girlfriend was right? I feel like you're not a reliable narrator in this story because it seems like his ex-girlfriend was correct in sensing that you wanted him and didn't want him talking to you. If, after his breakup, he came crawling to you just to sleep with you, it sounds like he was only interested in hooking up. Especially since he said afterward that he wasn't attracted to you and didn't view this as a deeper romantic relationship, otherwise, he wouldn't have said you're only like a sister. I'd love to hear this from the ex's side because, from her point of view, he went straight to sleep with you the first time he hung out with you again. I know you're hurting, but I also think this isn't the full story, and he is not a real friend to you. No real friend would sleep with you out of impulsive desire and loneliness after a breakup, use you as a rebound hookup, tell you they're not attracted to you afterward, and then go back to low contact. Update 2 days later. A lot has happened in just a few days since I last posted. First, thank you all for the feedback. I was having a hard time admitting that I was mistreated, and it's pretty clear that I've been in denial about my feelings for my friend for a long time. A few comments, in particular, forced me to see how obviously jealous I had been of his exes. I didn't like his last girlfriend because he was spending more time with her than with me. She had a point about me, and I don't really blame her for not wanting me around him as much as I was before. On Friday night, he texted me and asked if he could take me out to make up for everything that had happened. I agreed, but I told him that we really needed to talk about the past few months, especially about the night we slept together. He took me to a really nice place, and he immediately apologized for a lot. He said he was sorry for ditching me for months, only to message me, sleep with me, and then ditch me again. He apologized for being so cold after taking my V card and not checking in to make sure I was okay. He also said he was sorry for using me for years, that he had been keeping me around for emotional support while not really reciprocating that support. He confessed that his last relationship ended because they were both cheating on each other and admitted that he knew he was a serial cheater. He asked how I had been doing since we hooked up, and it was hard for me to answer. I can admit now that I wanted it for a long time. I remember wishing he would ask me to dances when we were kids. Our friends teased me about it, but I always shrugged it off. I told him that I was hurt that the guy I've known for most of my life took my first time and then told me that I wasn't attractive. Having that happen was one of the most hurtful things I've ever experienced, and I felt betrayed and used by my best friend. He apologized again and said he'd been attracted to me for a long time and had wanted us to be more for years. He told me I deserved better than that. He also said that he'd had a great time with me that night and that it was even better than he had always imagined. Then he asked if I wanted to try being more than friends. I told him I wanted to, but I wasn't sure if it would be a good idea. In this same conversation, he told me he was a serial cheater, and I kept thinking about all the comments here telling me not to just trust his sweet words, that actions speak louder. I asked why he thought he would treat me any better than the many other women he'd been with and treated terribly, especially after treating me terribly too. That made me cry a bit, and he said that I mattered more than the others. That what we had was more special, and that his family, who I mentioned in comments have been like a surrogate family to me, always thought we'd end up together. I've never really seen him cry before. He's always been guarded and wanting to seem tough. It was new to see him so vulnerable. I told him that if we were to start dating, I'd want to take a few steps back and start slow. I'm not going to just jump back in bed with him. He needs to prove to me that he can do better. The rest of the date went well. He took me to my favorite dessert place before dropping me off at home. He didn't try to convince me to let him come inside for anything more, but he gave me a very sweet kiss. I think I'm going to try to make this work. I love him. He's been my favorite person for years. I want to be able to trust him, but I'm going to make him prove to me that he means everything he said tonight before I let him get too close. Commenter. He said that I mattered more than the other ones. If that doesn't sound like something a serial cheater would say to their next victim, then I don't know what does.